Man, these Niagara Falls guests are crazy. You know, this lady came over here pissed off because she wanted me to turn down the volume of the crickets outside. Yeah, like I could just take a remote control and say, hey, there you go, ma'am. The volume of the crickets are down. Ma'am, I don't know who you're used to dealing with, but I can't turn down the volume of the crickets. I don't know who you think I am, but I ain't scared of you. Oh!
I am Bruce Jordan. I'm former IHG corporate and I manage over $1 billion in assets and $300 million in revenue. Well, Michael Jordan is the basketball. Bruce Jordan is the same to the hotel industry. My main goal is to give your hotel guests an amazing experience and give your hotel the tools it needs to keep your revenue numbers in the black and beyond. And now you're watching another episode of Hotel Management Do's and Don'ts. This episode was brought to you by co-hosts. If you want to reduce hotel labor costs, increase upgrade sales, and increase your hotel's productivity, then give your hotel the power of co-hosts. For more information, visit cohost.io.
Now, before we begin, I need a quick favor. If you could just like and subscribe to the channel, it really helps us out so we can continue to bring you this great content every week. We are in the great Niagara Falls over here in Buffalo, New York, home of the Buffalo Wing. Now, this place is ridiculous. It's massive. I was walking so much that I almost exploded my Fitbit. My Fitbit just had 100,000 steps taken out here. You know what time it is. It's time to shoot these free throws in Niagara Falls. Let's get it! What I love about this hotel is that it's right on the water. If I had my fishing pole, I would have caught like 50 fish in one day. Everyone loves fishing down here. The hotel, the water, the lake, the view, talk about that ambiance. So when you come down here, you gotta at least rent a fishing pole and maybe get your little license so you can go ahead and test the waters and see what you can catch. Now, one of the things that really threw me off was the fact that you have a waterfront property but you don't have a premium rate. Usually waterfront properties, they carry a higher rate, but this hotel is more like a mid-scale rate versus a premium rate. I just thought that was a little weird. The design of this hotel is not modern. It has more of a classic feel with a little bit of antique feeling in the lobby. Now, you know, this place used to be a 4-point Sheraton. It is no longer a 4 points. Now, this hotel has a small lobby, but what makes up for it is the dining area and the bar. What I love about the dining area is that you can actually eat outside and enjoy the lake view. Now, it doesn't get any better than that. That makes every meal taste so much better. Now, when we stayed at this hotel, it was literally just opening back up from COVID because they had shut down during COVID. You know, they're still trying to get back into the swing of things, but one thing I really love was the managers at this property. They have not skipped a beat when it came to customer engagement. Now let's get down to these operations. At the time that I stayed in this hotel, it looks like the rooms just wasn't lit very well. If I had to guess, they may be using a mix of 40 to 60 watt soft light bulbs instead of 60 watt daylight bulbs. Soft light bulbs tend to dim the presence of the room. The only time I use soft light bulb is if I'm looking for a nice romantic feeling, a little romantic ambiance in the room, you know, or I don't want the guests to see the imperfections in the furniture at night when they check in. I'm just saying. It really doesn't help when you're mixing bulbs as well. If you look here, you'll see that the lighting is off at the entrance of the room. It looks like they have 3 daylights in one soft light. Now, I've seen this mix up a lot. What usually happens is they get the wrong shipment and they can't wait, so they have to use what they have until they get the right shipment. When they get the right shipment, they don't send the wrong shipment back and they just installing bulbs everywhere. So that can happen at any hotel. Now, I have to give my props to the maintenance team. They knew what they were doing. Look at this Cork Tub. Now this is how you caulk a tub. Look at how all the edges are even. There's no smear marks, nothing, just nice, smooth, and in the groove. That's what I'm talking about. Good job, maintenance. Now let's move on to revenue. As I stated before, the rates at this hotel were lower than I expected. As you can see here, this is a premium Best Western property, but the rates are still way lower than other properties that aren't on the water. The only thing that explains this is the review score. A lot of times if a property has a lower review score and the demand is low, they'll have to compromise when it comes to price to make the property stand out a little more. And with over 2,400 reviews, they have a long road to travel to get this hotel back into the 8.0 club. Now let's move on to breakfast. Now the breakfast is not free, but it was still pretty good. Now the thing is, you're eating breakfast in Niagara Falls and you're right on the lake. So of course you're gonna wanna eat the breakfast outside. Only problem is you're gonna get some cream cheese on your gloves because it is cold out here. It's right next to Canada, so you know how cold Canada is. Now it's time for the hotel bash, 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 bash. Now when you think of twins, you usually think of this. And when you think of unidentical twins, you usually think of this. But at this hotel, when you see unidentical twins, it looks like this. I guess someone accepted the wrong shipment for these top sheets. Now, this is actually not the hotel fault. To the hotel's defense, I gotta say that, we're having a serious issue when it comes to procurement and getting some supplies in. So all those containers that are out there in the sea one of those containers probably belongs to this hotel. So I can't fault the hotel for this. But I was a little surprised when I walked in the door and the top sheets just didn't match. That didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Now let's move on to these scores. Now this hotel had a great maintenance department, but it's still giving back in his groove, So for that reason, I'm going to give them an operation score of 8.0. It seems like the review scores are kind of weighing the revenues down a little bit, so I can't blame revenue management for that. But even with that being said, I still think the scores were just a little too low. So for that reason, I'm going to give revenue a 7.5. Now, for breakfast, there is nothing like breakfast when you have that nice lake view. So for breakfast, I'm going to give them an 8.0. This will give them a total score of 7.8. As usual, my numbers are just advisory. If you want this hotel to win, you have got to vote for them. And the best way to vote for them is just like this video, hit that subscribe button, and you know what time it is. Now, if you think your hotel has what it takes to compete in hotel management do's and don'ts, all you gotta do is go to hotelguestmanagement.com/enroll and enroll your hotel for season 4 and season 5 of Hotel Management Do's and Don'ts Open Enrollment. And you know what time it is. As always, you know what we're here to do. We're here to make your revenues rise up once again.